Greetings, YouTube. At the time of recording this, the website Social Blade tells me that my YouTube channel, now of course this includes my pre-MCOC dark days where only stoners living in their parents' basement watched my channel when I reviewed pizza and Oreos. If you think that's a joke, go have a deep dive and see what I look like before a receding hairline. But here's the deal. Social Blade tells me I have over 3,000 videos, 3,070. In fact, on my channel. And even though I've made videos about mental health awareness and the joys of a community friendship and learning to get over a broken heart after your alliance dumps you, I would argue that this might be my most important video I've ever made, because it deals with something that I have really tried to make the staple of my channel, which is financial responsibility. The reason why I grade every offer is to hopefully be the voice of reason that keeps you from buying a bad deal and throwing money away. This game is truly Marvel Casino of Champions. It feeds the brain the same kind of dopamine high when you open crystals that a slot machine would if you pulled the trigger or pressed the button. Only, instead of a slot machine giving you a chance to win more money, this game can just be a money sucker. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. In fact, I believe that there are a lot of purchases in this game that are well worth it. Some people will say, well, Prof, I'm free to play, so it doesn't count. This doesn't apply to me. But the older you get, the more valuable your time can be than money. For example, let's say it takes you 7 hours to grind in the 5-star featured arena to get 2,000 5-star shards at the end of the arena session. Let's say your goal is to get the 2,000 5-star shards. And of course, you've got some premium disappointment crystals and some units and battle chips. But your main goal is the 2,000 5-star shards. And it took you 7 hours. Okay? Well, let's say instead of grinding in the arena and spending 7 hours, you can spend $20 and get yourself 2,000 5-star shards plus X amount of added rewards, because at this point, $20 is not a good deal for 2,000 5-star shards. But it's just an example, because $20, if you divide that by 7, right, you're looking at less than $3 an hour for your time. And so if you can save 7 hours because you get the same reward and you normally make $10 an hour, it actually is a better financial choice for you to buy the deal than it is to spend 7 hours of your time in the arena. Just an example of how sometimes when you say you're free to play, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're better off if you have a career or a certain point where your time really is money. If you're a high school student or a poor college student, that doesn't apply to you. Besides that, I just want to say that for the sake of this video, I have compiled only the bare minimum of calculations for a month. I think that my true definition of a valuable purchase is how often will I use it. For example, if you go to the store and you buy a $50 pair of blue jeans that you wear 2 or 3 times a week, every week, that's a dang good purchase. But if you go to the store and you buy, like say you're a female, and you buy a $200 dress that you wear once, that's a terrible purchase because you're not getting the most out of it. This is also why things like a car are so important, because you'll use them probably just about every day. I also think that this is the same conversation I have. This is not just MCOC related. I call this micro budgeting, because you don't think of the little purchases until you add up the full totals. I know a student that said that she spent $5 at Starbucks 5 times a week, every week for a year. That was $4,000 worth of coffee that she spent. And she didn't think about it until she added it all up. And then she was kind of horrified because it just gets away from you. So again, this isn't like a strictly MCOC video as much as it is just monitoring healthy spending habits. When I first started playing Marvel Contest of Champions, it's worth noting that 4 stars were like 6 stars. And believe it or not, they could charge $100, $100 just to have a chance to, say, get a Tier 4 class Catalyst to take up this Electro to rank 5. And there were no rank up gyms back then. Tier 4 basics routinely were like 1,000 units apiece. Tier 1 alphas could be as much as 1,000 units as well. And the Tier 4 class catalysts were as rare as the Tier 5 class catalyst fragments and almost as expensive. And of course, they were crystals. It was not until right before patch 12.0 that they gave the first ever offer to be able to choose the classes that you needed, which was huge because, like, for me, it was my first opportunity to take up Scarlet Witch pre-patch 12.0, who was the biggest cheat code in the history of the game, to max rank. And 6 stones were also incredibly difficult to get. So I say that to say the game has evolved, but the thing about the game early on, there was no monthly subscription-based service. There was no unit offer. There was the monthly login calendar sometimes, but even that wasn't every month. It was like 4-star crystals every once in a while. But mainly, there weren't cash offers. This was before progression-based titles. This was back in the old featured crystal days, the Glory days, not to be confused with the Glory Store, which also didn't exist, where you could get enough shards saved up to where you had a pretty realistic shot to pull the featured champion. You had like a 20% drop rate, and you could hoard 100,000 5-star shards or more and purchase 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the same crystal, and then hopefully get that champion at least once, if not twice. Of course, those days are gone. Now, if you're talking about the featured crystal, you have a 4.2% drop rate, which is really, really terrible, and the featured crystal lasts for about 3 months. So let's make an argument just to give you an idea of how much more expensive this game is in 2019, almost 2020, than it was when it started. So I have purchased the monthly subscription-based service because I think it's a very good value, and I have broken that down this week, in fact, in a video. Now, if you buy the monthly subscription-based service every month, even if the price doesn't go up, and Kabam has told us this is an introductory price, which means it is going to go up at some point, that is $120 for the year worth of subscriptions. Now, the unit-based offer, which is half of that, right? The collector's daily card is $5 a month. So let's say that you buy that for 12 months. That's another $60. So now, just for monthly subscription-based services per year, a player can be spending $180 that they weren't spending before 2019. On top of that, we know that twice a year, we have the big July 4th and Cyber Monday offers. And assuming that the limits of these offers, which I kind of had predicted, incorrectly I might add, that they were going to be tempted to up the limits from by 3, because we had seen a limit of, say, 5, and we even saw the crazy 30,000 unit price tag for 6-star Vision offer the week before. But regardless, let's say that the limits hold for the next year. Well, you could spend about $600 to get all of the offers. By the way, all these prices are pre-tax. I'm just assuming there's no tax, even though I've been told, even though it hasn't hit iTunes, or at least it hasn't hit me yet, that you Google Play users out there are already buying offers with tax, which sucks because, of course, it's a lot more money. But, yeah, between July 4th and Cyber Monday, that's $1,200 that you could spend just on those 2 days, assuming you don't buy anything besides all of the limits of the unit-based offers. So, the 3 Allfather Odin's Fall. I don't know why it was so hard to say that. 3 Black Panther's Treasure, 3 Tony Stark's Briefcase, 3 Star-Lord's Loot Bag, and the 5 Peter Parker's Wallet. So that would be $2,400. But the other thing that's changed that has got more expensive and is more frequent is that recently, in the past few months, we now have seen, especially for you uncollected and above, which is still the cutoff usually for the featured Cavalier early access bundles, a difference of not 1 but 2 opportunities per month to buy them, and most importantly, there was a limit of 1 for a long time, and now there's a limit of 2, which means per month you could be spending $400 on those, right? But we're going to just say, for the sake of argument, that you're only going to buy the Cavalier one, you're not going to buy the Grandmaster one. So we're going to say that you spend $200 per month, or you're going to spend $100 to get 2 $50 bundles twice a month for $200. That's going to be an additional $2,400. So the early access bundles, if you buy those maxed every month, you're actually going to be spending twice as much money over the course of a year than you would if you just bought the July 4th and Cyber Monday offers, which are a total of twice a year, once on July 4th and once on Cyber Monday. If you were to get no other offer at any point in the game, if you were to spend no money besides getting the monthly subscription-based service, the units, both once a month, all the July 4th and Cyber Monday offers, and 4 times essentially the early access bundles for twice every 2 weeks, you'd be spending $3,780, and that is not counting tax, which could put you well over $4,000 if you add that in. That's $4,000 a year. So if you play this game for 4 years, even assuming that your purchasing behavior doesn't change, that's about $16,000 worth of spending. Maybe you're okay with that, and that's fine. And if you've got the money, if you can ball, I think this is still better use of your money than, going to jail or other addictions. But what I'm trying to say with this video is the purchasing habits could easily get out of control, and you may not realize how much things are going to cost until you've added it up. I spoke to one summoner recently who wanted his story to be out there because he is almost 21 and he's trying to finally save up for a car, and he realized that he's already spent about $4,000 on MCOC just as a working college student, and he could have afforded a car if he would have just put all the money that he put into MCOC into a car, and it really depressed him. And I tried to have this financial literacy conversation with him about how micro purchases add up to macro amounts. And so I'm not trying to make this video be some come to Jesus guilt session about your spending behavior. My account itself is between $10,000 and $15,000 worth of purchases now, especially if you include gift cards. But at the same time, I am in the 0.001% of summoners that have made 4 to 5 times that amount on YouTube worth of revenue. And so I can afford to put that in because I just look at it as putting it into expenses on my channel to make more videos and have great openings in live streams, etc. But that is not the average summoner. In fact, that is the most rare of rare circumstances. So I just want you to think about this because, again, $180 for a year for the monthly subscription-based services, $1,200 for Cyber Monday or Cyber Weekend and July 4th, and $2,400 now for early access bundles. The about $3,800 pre-tax that you could spend now just for those offers is getting ridiculously high. So if you find yourself unable to compete, just say, screw it, I'm going to relax. The best thing that I've done in my time is move to a semi-retired alliance. I have never had more fun than when I stopped playing Alliance War and I just got to hang out, answer a bunch of questions via the Line app, make videos, and relax. I'm never going to be a great player at this game. I'm going to have some days that are good and some days that are bad. But I'd like to think that by putting out videos where I'm making mistakes in fights and looking human, I might actually be more relatable to the average viewer than if I'm putting out this perfect Alliance War video every time Alliance War comes around. Not that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I have crazy respect for those YouTubers. That's just never going to be me, right? That's not what my channel's about, and it's never what my channel's going to be about. It's going to be about financial responsibility, and I hope that this video, though a little bit longer in length than my usual video, is helpful in determining the calculations for you and how much you can spend on this game. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one, and as always, thank you for supporting my Marvel Contest, or really in this case, my Marvel Casino of Champions YouTube channel.